Hello, are we live here? I think we might be. Yes, I think so. Okay, hello everyone. This is my fourth Q&A session, and today is also brought to you by this hat that I found in an op shop while looking for another costume. I'm like, this hat is way too funny to not wear. There's no reason why I'm wearing this hat. I just wanted to think of other creative ways to really just put a smile on your face, and if it's at the expense of me, then I don't even care. So welcome. If you're tuning in, please just drop me a comment to say you can hear me. If you can't and it's just my lips moving, just let me know. But this week has seen some really cool questions come in, and I am just going to get straight into it. So Nikki's actually been the star of the Q&A this week. She sent in the most questions, so well done, gold star. The first question, oh, I can see some people. Okay, great, you can hear me. I don't know what's coming through. Anyway, Nikki has sent through some questions, and one of the questions she sent in is, when eating inside the window, is there a point where there are too many high energy carbs consumed, or should you just enjoy and eat for your appetite? So the plain and simple answer is yes, you can have too many high energy carbohydrates inside your metabolic window. Now, there's quite a few different elements that are, sort of take into how that threshold of energy carbs is established. So if you're starting off and you're new to sort of the window protocols and having high energy carbs exclusive to your window, there's going to be certain things like your digestion and your metabolism. Those are the two main factors that are going to dictate how many, how much volume of high energy carbs you can have. Realistically, when you're first starting off, us coaches, we do like to err on the side of being cautious, and that's purely because we don't want to upset your digestive system and cause too many, refluxes and force feeding. And secondly, a lot of our clients come to us with damaged metabolisms. So even if their digestive system can take in a lot of, high energy carb sources, the metabolism isn't working as effectively to actually use the nutrients from the high energy carbs and disperse it for good. So there's kind of a few different elements there. So when we, look at our clients and we're assessing our clients, we have a look at the information we have, and sometimes that's previous diet information, what you've told us about your digestive health. And for long-term clients, it's about that data and submitting what you've been doing through your 7-day meal records. So all of that is data. Now, when we're looking at that, we also have a look at how you're traveling. So after a session, you really don't want to be force feeding. I know I just touched on it briefly. You don't want to be force feeding high energy carbs into your body, purely for the fact that force feeding is not good on the digestive system. And when your digestive system is upset, your metabolism runs fairly poorly as well. So there is that threshold. And when you first start with, the MP protocols, it's about finding your parameters and just trying what works. Inevitably, some people do get into that stage where their metabolisms are working really well, and their digestive system's able to cope with that amount of high energy carbs in addition to the actual rest of the meal. So we're able to increase the amount of high energy carbs, and of course that's really heavily dependent on if the person is getting results. So if you're getting too depleted, or you're getting really hungry in between those two window meals, and you're getting results, then that's kind of, a few signals there for us to be able to, bump up your high energy carbs because you are ready for it. But realistically, we are all made different. So there is no real scientific facts to say, okay, beginners start here, intermediate starts here, and then advanced people that have been doing MP for 2+ years, start here, because everybody's got, like I said, variables in their digestive system. Some people just don't need a lot of volume of food because their metabolisms are running quite hot and able to extract a lot of the nutrients from it and just use it for good. So they don't need a lot of volume for the results to become effective. So Nikki, I hope that answers your question. If it hasn't, I'm sorry, I've just wasted your time. But please, if any of these questions that I answer today or any of the, comments, please just drop them in there and we can go in and clarify a few things. The next question is sent in from Matt. So Matt has said, when eating inside the window, which is the metabolic window, is there a point, that was... That was actually Nikki's question. Oh my God. Okay, so ignore that. Matt's... This is my life, everyone. Hang on a sec. I've just got to get Matt's question up again. Oh my God. I'm terrible. You asked me a dumb question too, Matt. It was good. Where is it? What's better? Keto, intermittent fasting, or the cookie diet? Asking for a friend. Okay, so here's the thing. Obviously, Matt's being a little bit facetious here. Everyone in this group knows that we've usually probably tried all of those things. So keto, intermittent fasting, or the cookie diet it's a hard decision. And there's so many elements here, Matt, because realistically, if you get the keto diet cookies, then technically you're doing keto. But if you eat the cookies after 12 p.m, you're doing intermittent fasting, keto, cookie diet. So I don't know, what's better. It really depends on how much weight you have to lose before tomorrow. So anyway, on that note, I really wanted to share another diet because thinking about all these ridiculous things through the week has really got me thinking. And I don't think we've ever spoken about the tuna diet. So this is just a regular tin of tuna. This one's actually an oil, because I use this in dips and stuff when we go to parties. I am renowned for my tuna dip. It's a bit of a hot, a hot request. But anyway, back in, I'm going to say when I was about 18, 19, I was working with a trainer at the time, just a personal trainer, because, I didn't like the way I looked. Obviously, before I knew what I knew now, and he said to me, Megan, you need to go on this tuna diet. And I'm like, okay, I'll do anything. It was gorgeous. This trainer was gorgeous, but also I hated myself. And I'm like, whatever you say, mate, I'll do anything. So he gave me this piece of paper and it was a meal plan of tuna. And that's it for 3 days. So each meal, and it was timed. So every 3 hours, you were able to eat 100 grams of tuna, but it had to be not oil. That was fattening. It had to be the spring water one. So it was 100 grams of tuna every 3 hours, except one of those meals in the day could be ham, 100 grams of ham. So off I went and I did that. And on the 4th day, you got to have a bread roll. It was a bread roll and you could have the bread roll with your tuna. And I sneakily put soy sauce in the tuna to make it edible. And I persisted with that for I'm going to say 2 months. Literally, that is all I ate. Of course, disregarding the fact that the weekends were free game because his piece of paper didn't include the weekend. So I didn't eat this bullshit. I had alcohol, booze, fucking chicken and takeaway and all this stuff. But I lost some serious weight. And I also got very, very sick at the time. So that's probably just a little bit of an insight as to another diet we haven't spoken about before, which is the tuna diet. So 100 grams of tuna. If you really want to fuck up your metabolism, 100 grams every 3 hours. You can swap one of them for ham, sliced ham, and on the weekends you can just do whatever and you'll probably get results. But we will see you in probably another 12 months because your metabolism will be very, very damaged. So anyway, little piece of useless information going right there. Excuse me, my hat's falling off. Anyway, Nikki sent through another relevant question to our Q&A, which is great. Immediate recovery from intense cardio bursts. How come I like to keep moving, walking in my rest periods of HIIT? I always did this when doing running years back, and I find if I stop, my heart rate and breathing increases, whereas if I move, it stabilises more quickly. Other people like to lie down or bend forward. Is this purely physiological, or is there physiologically science behind the recovery? If there is science, what is the best way to optimize recovery to push yourself into the next round of HIIT? So Nikki, thank you for that question. It's a really good question. I am going to put a really, well, you're going to hate this, but it's going to be a really broad understanding of this is personal choice. In terms of science and taking the correct rest breaks and drawing a line in the sand, I don't feel that if I came across some, science and clinical research, that it would be, have been studied in the correct way. There's just so many variables with ICE training and HIIT training. Exercise, what exercises are you doing? What have you eaten the day before and the day of? What are your energy levels like? How much hydration how hydrated are you? How much water have you drank through the day? How much sleep have you had? Oh, excuse me. Oh, let me adjust this for a second. Oh. Anyway, so Nikki, when they're looking at, the science, they use like really controlled, parameters. Now, for us doing ice and throwing ourselves around to get results, the science will not have taken into account the everyday person. They're probably looking at, if there were such a trial or a research, it'd probably be based on athletes that have got, strict sleeping patterns. They're eating the same food every day. They're working with a huge team of, health professionals and medical professionals. They're doing a lot of the same training, and it's a really very boxed in clinical trial. But when you look at what we do and the spirit of like 95% of the world, I wouldn't rely on too much of the science in that respect. So when it comes down to what helps you recover in between your rest breaks in ice, I would say do what works for you. Because I'm probably one like you too, Nikki. It depends on what I'm doing, of course, but if I'm doing back in the day when I could do hill sprints or burpees or, any of that stuff where you're moving around a lot, I don't like to stop unless I literally physically can't move my legs, which has happened, or I need to spew, which also has happened. I do like to keep myself moving around, and that's just to, for me, I just find that I don't lose my momentum, even though I'm resting and my heart rate and my breathing is dropped. I just find that mentally, I don't sort of stop, start. So it becomes a personal choice. However, you'll probably find some exercises when you start mixing it up a lot, you just have to sit the fuck down. And that's okay too. There is no real right and wrong, because at the end of the day, it's what gets you results at the other end. So, for everyone listening, I would just say do what works for you. So Nikki, I hope that explains and helps you with your HIIT. The next question, actually it's the last question. We didn't get many questions this week, but I can see some people coming up with questions. So I'll get to you in a second. Nikki, Nikki said, how long have I been embracing the MP way? How did I first find out about it? So I had to actually go back and look at this because it's been a while, in a good way, because to be honest, I'm just going to give you a little bit of self-reflection here, but I mean, this tuna diet was just an example of how desperate I was. I dreaded going on holidays because I was fretting about what to eat. All I wanted to be like was, you know, a bunch of my skinny friends that, you know, just seemed to eat healthy and be okay with it. And I just had no confidence in the food that I was eating. And then of course I had some elements of over-exercising as well. So realistically, I had been doing a whole heap of diets, and all I ever wished for was to be able to live in a world where I didn't have to worry about food and what it would do. All I just wanted to do was know what to do it and how to do it the right way, so I could have this freedom, emotional freedom, because the torment of it was killing me. The cravings were killing me, and it was just a battle inside my head. And on the outside, I didn't look that bad, but inside I was super duper struggling, and I was very, very sick because of my condition. So now that I'm on the greener pasture, it just feels like I have so much more in my life now than what I ever could have imagined. So I'm like, how long have I been doing this? And the truth is, I've been doing this for 6 years. So when I first found out about MP, I had another hiccup in my story. Is I thought I could go and do a fitness competition to get fit and escape all my bad eating, you know, ways, and repair my relationship with food. So I thought, what better way to go and do it is combine my obsession with fitness at the time and my desire to learn about food and do a fitness comp. So I linked up with this coach who had me doing ridiculous like calories and macros and stuff like that for a really long time. And then I came into another MP coach's sphere, because I saw what results she was getting, and obviously they promote the way that we eat now. And I was like, wow, that looks cool. Honestly, if I could eat all that food and do what I do now, then fucking that sounds pretty cool, right? So I actually brought it up with my coach, and I said, hey, you know that girl, what's she doing? You know, how come those girls get to eat food that I don't? Because this is the same coach that told me corn was like one of the single worst food you could ever eat, alongside almonds. So she's like, oh yeah, that's the MP stuff. I know how to do that. I've read all about it. And I'm like, sweet. Do you reckon we could switch to that? So anyway, she did. And she actually gave me all of the resources and the manuals. And lo and behold, I actually went ahead and started when I was comp prepping. I actually went and got my certification at that time. So I went and did all my certification while I was still prepping. And during that process, I realized that this other coach was, putting it simply, fucking it up. So she was still getting me to do the MP protocols, but she was getting me to do it inside a calorie and macro boundary. So she was still getting me to weigh my food, sticking inside calories, sticking inside certain macro ratios, all whilst being MP compliant. And the thing is, you can take the MP protocol and apply it to nearly any diet, but it's not designed that way. It's designed in a way for you to ditch the diets and be able to embrace eating like a normal person. So I actually brought it up with her, and then she, you know, realized that, okay, maybe this isn't the right way, and I actually dumped her after that. And then I got in touch with a lady named Trish and her partner Dave, and then Matt. And that's how, you know, our love story has evolved. And then Andrea came on board, and I met Andrea, and it's just been amazing. So yeah, that's kind of how I fell into MP. The start was a little bit rocky, but I've since been put on to, you know, the right path, and it's been an absolute dream. I really have a lot to be thankful for finding this out, and to also be surrounded by the people that I am surrounded by today that have, you know, built me up from, you know, where I've come from, because it was a very, very dark place. So I'm very grateful for that. Nikki, I hope that answers your question. If any of the questions don't make sense or my responses, please just let me know. Hang on 1 second. I'm just checking the comments. Brianna, it's worked. Okay, great. Don't know what's worked. So colourful. Oh, you're talking about my hat. How cute is it? Andrea. What'd she say? Andrea says, my first ever comp prep way back before I also know what I do now. I had to eat so much tuna and fish. Safe to say I'll now only eat tuna if I have to. I know, fucking, I'm with you. Sorry, Andrea. I have an aversion to this now. I will eat it on occasion. There's like those tuna melts, which are actually pretty good. But even at the moment, with all the food shortages, there's still a little bit of tuna on the shelf. I'm like, mate, I'll have to be on my deathbed to be even entertaining that, because it's gag food for me. And the same with sweet potato. I'm actually any potato. I don't really like potato unless it's like hot chips. Okay. Brianna, I'm watching this with Sam in the car and we were pissing ourselves with the tuna diet. Oh, fuck that, yeah. That's a big fuck that. I thought you would have been reminiscing about that time I got red wine spit all over me and made you look like a dick. Nikki, I've had a little vomit. Great. Welcome to the club, dude. Yeah, if you haven't had a little vom in your mouth or during a nice session, you aren't working hard enough. Nikki, great answers. All right, thank you so much, everyone. This has been a real pleasure. I hope that you have enjoyed my company. Thank you for listening. I know that it's hard dedicating time to watch these, but for everyone watching now, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And for everyone that's watching a little bit later on, it's good to see you. Catch you, everyone. Bye-bye.